Paul Newman didn't just act in westerns. He transformed authentic firearms into extensions of his soul, studying historical accuracy and training with master gunsmiths to handle period-correct weapons like a real frontiersman, while other actors posed with Hollywood props. These weren't movie fakes. They were museum-quality pieces that defined an era of cinema. Today, we're counting down the 11 legendary firearms that made Paul Newman's westerns unforgettable, and what we reveal about his #1 gun will change how you watch westerns forever. Number 11, Remington Model, 1858, Buffalo Bill and the Indians, 1976. We have the gun that represents everything theatrical about the Old West. Newman's portrayal of Buffalo Bill Cody required a weapon that matched the showman's larger-than-life persona. The Remington Model, 1858, wasn't just historically accurate for the 1870s period. It was a statement about authenticity versus performance. In Buffalo Bill and the Indians, Newman plays William F. Cody at the height of his Wild West show fame. The Remington 1858 he carries perfectly captures the tension between historical reality and theatrical presentation. This solid frame cap and ball revolver represented the transitional period between percussion and cartridge firearms. The Remington 1858's 44 caliber chambering fires a 220 grain lead ball at 750 feet per second through its 8-inch barrel, delivering 275 foot-pounds of stopping power. Weighing 2 pounds 11 ounces with a 6-round capacity, this percussion revolver featured the strongest frame design of its era. Here's what most viewers missed. The Remington's solid frame construction made it significantly stronger than Colt's open-top designs. While the Colt 1860 Army was more famous, professional shooters often preferred the Remington for its superior durability and accuracy. Newman's Buffalo Bill carries this weapon because it represents substance over flash, even as his character sells flash to the crowds. The Remington 1858 remained popular long after cartridge revolvers became available because owners could convert them using aftermarket conversion cylinders. This practical longevity made them favorites of working cowboys and lawmen who valued reliability over novelty. Original Remington Model 1858 revolvers in excellent condition command $3,000 to $8,000 at auction, while quality reproductions run $500 to $900. Newman's choice to carry this specific revolver adds layers to Buffalo Bill's character. He's a man caught between authentic frontier experience and the theatrical demands of show business. The weapon choice tells you everything about that internal conflict. Number 10, Winchester Model 1873, Pocket Money, 1972. We have the rifle that earned the nickname the gun that won the West, and Newman's use of it in Pocket Money demonstrates why this lever action became the symbol of frontier America. This wasn't about flash or fame. It was about reliability when everything else failed. Pocket Money cast Newman as a down-on-his-luck cowboy trying to make one last score. The Winchester Model 1873 he carries isn't a showpiece. It's a working tool that's seen hard use and harder times, perfectly matching his character's circumstances. You can read his entire life story in the worn finish of that rifle. The Model 1873's 4440 Winchester chambering drives a 200-grain bullet at 1,190 feet per second through its 24-inch octagonal barrel, delivering 630 foot-pounds of reliable stopping power. Weighing 9 pounds with a 15-round tubular magazine, this lever-action rifle transformed frontier warfare by putting repeating firepower in the hands of anyone who could afford one. 15 shots without reloading changed the rules of survival. Winchester manufactured over 720,000 Model 1873 rifles between 1873 and 1924, making it the most commercially successful rifle of the frontier era. But its popularity wasn't about marketing. It was about performance under the harshest conditions imaginable. Cowboys subjected these rifles to desert heat, mountain cold, rain, dust, and constant hard use, and the Model 1873 kept functioning. Newman's character treats this rifle like a trusted partner because that's exactly what the Model 1873 represented to working cowboys. The lever action mechanism provided rapid follow-up shots, while the proven 4440 cartridge delivered sufficient power for both hunting and defense. Whether facing rustlers or hunting deer for camp meat, one rifle handled both jobs. The film's cinematography shows the rifle's wear patterns. The blued finish worn silver at contact points. The wood stock darkened by years of hand oil and weather exposure. This attention to authentic aging separates good westerns from great ones. Director Stuart Rosenberg understood that real cowboys carried tools, not trophies. Watch Newman's handling throughout Pocket Money. He carries the Winchester with unconscious familiarity, working the lever action without looking, the rifle moving as naturally as breathing. That's authentic cowboy competence. Winchester Model 1873 rifles in original condition sell for $2,000 to $15,000, depending on configuration and condition. Reproductions run $800 to $1,500. This working man's rifle leads us to something more personal and deadly. Number 9. Colt Model 1849 Pocket, the left-handed gun, 1958. Number 9 takes us to Newman's breakout Western role as Billy the Kid, and the Colt Model 1849 pocket revolver he carries reveals a character who understands that survival depends on having an ace up your sleeve. The left-handed gun presented Newman's Billy as a psychologically complex figure, not the romantic outlaw of previous films. The Colt 1849 pocket represented his backup weapon, small enough to conceal but deadly enough to change outcomes. The Model 1849's 31 caliber chambering fires an 80-grain lead ball at 750 feet per second through its 4-inch barrel, delivering 100 feet-pounds of close-range energy, weighing just 24 ounces with a 5-round capacity. This diminutive revolver was designed for concealment, not confrontation. Here's the historical truth that adds depth to Newman's performance. The real Billy the Kid was known for carrying multiple weapons, understanding that gunfights rarely go as planned. The pocket revolver wasn't cowardice, it was professional preparation. The Model 1849 became one of Colt's most successful designs, with over 325,000 produced between 1850 and 1873. Its popularity among gamblers, lawmen, and outlaws proved that serious men valued having options. Newman's Billy uses this compact revolver in the film's tense gambling den scene, drawing it smoothly from concealment when his primary weapon is compromised. Watch his hand movement in this sequence. Newman trained to draw the pocket Colt naturally, without theatrical flourish, selling the reality that Billy lived with this weapon as constant insurance. Original Colt Model 1849 pocket revolvers command $1,500 to $6,000, depending on condition. Quality reproductions run $400 to $700. This concealment weapon represented tactical thinking, but number 8 shows us institutional authority. Number 8. Smith & Wesson Schofield, The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, 1972. At number 8, we have the revolver that many cavalry officers preferred over the famous Colt, and Newman's Judge Roy Bean carries it because he understands that the best tool isn't always the most famous one. The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean cast Newman as the self-appointed law west of the Pecos, a man who dispensed justice with theatrical flair and genuine authority. The Smith & Wesson Schofield he carries represents that combination of showmanship and substance. The Schofield's .45 Schofield chambering fires a 230-grain bullet at 730 feet per second through its 7-inch barrel, delivering 270 foot-pounds of proven stopping power. Weighing 2 pounds 8 ounces with a 6-round capacity, this top-break revolver's revolutionary design made it the fastest reloading handgun of its era. While Colt shooters fumbled with loading gates and ejector rods, Schofield users could break open the action, dump all 6 spent cases simultaneously, reload, and snap the gun closed in seconds. In sustained gunfights, this speed advantage proved fatal to opponents. The United States Army purchased over 8,000 Schofields between 1875 and 1877 after field testing proved their superiority in cavalry engagements. Yet Colt's political connections secured the primary military contract, making the Schofield an overlooked masterpiece. Newman's Judge Bean carries the Schofield as a visual statement. He's a man who makes his own rules and chooses his own tools based on merit, not popularity. The top break action also provides excellent visual drama in close-ups, the frame hinging open with mechanical precision that cinematographers love. Original Smith & Wesson Schofield revolvers, especially military-marked examples, command $4,000 to $15,000. Quality reproductions run $900 to $1,400, but sometimes justice requires reach that handguns cannot provide. Number 7. Sharps Rifle, Hombre, 1967. Number 7 brings us to Newman's most underrated Western performance in Hombre, where he plays John Russell, a white man raised by Apaches. The Sharps rifle he carries represents the deadly precision that frontier survival demanded. This wasn't just a weapon choice. It was a statement about a man who lived by making every shot count. Hombre cast Newman against type as a stoic, dangerous man whose skills with a rifle keep him alive in a world that wants him dead. The Sharps rifle in his hands becomes an extension of his Apache training, turning long-range marksmanship into an art form. Russell doesn't waste ammunition or words. Both are delivered with surgical precision when the situation demands it. The Sharps rifle's 45-70 government chambering fires a 405-grain bullet at 1,350 feet per second through its 30-inch barrel, delivering 1,640 foot-pounds of devastating energy. Weighing 9 pounds with a single-shot falling block action, this precision instrument could deliver killing shots at ranges exceeding 1,000 yards. The massive cartridge created a distinctive boom that enemies learned to fear across impossible distances. Professional buffalo hunters used Sharps rifles to kill millions of bison during the 1870s, proving the weapon's reliability under continuous hard use. Men like Billy Dixon made legendary shots with Sharps rifles, including his documented 1,500-yard kill at the Battle of Adobe Walls. But in skilled hands, the Sharps became something more than a buffalo gun. It became a tactical advantage that turned one man into an army. Newman's character uses a Sharps in Hombre's climactic standoff, making impossible shots from concealed positions that modern snipers would respect. He fires from cover, relocates, and fires again, using the desert terrain and his Apache training to maximum advantage. The film's director, Martin Ritt, insisted on authentic handling, and Newman trained extensively to operate the falling block action smoothly. Watch the sequence where Newman's Russell chambers around. The falling block drops with mechanical precision. The massive cartridge slides home, and the block rises to lock with absolute certainty. No wasted motion, no hesitation, just professional competence under lethal pressure. Newman's hands work the action with practiced familiarity that comes only from genuine training. The Sharps represented frontier marksmanship at its peak. While repeating rifles offered volume of fire, the Sharps offered something more valuable in Russell's world: the ability to kill from positions where return fire was impossible. His enemies never saw where the shots came from. They just saw their men dropping. Hombre's screenplay emphasized Russell's isolation through his weapon choice. While other characters carry repeating rifles for close-range defense, Russell maintains distance both physically and emotionally. The Sharps becomes a metaphor for his entire existence, powerful and precise, but fundamentally alone. Original Sharps rifles from the 1870s command $8,000 to $20,000 depending on configuration. Modern reproductions run $2,000 to $4,000, with custom builds exceeding $6,000 when equipped with period-correct sights and finishes. This precision instrument required deliberate shot placement, but number 6 offered rapid-fire capability. Number 6, Winchester Model, 1892. The left-handed gun, 1958. At number 6, we return to the left-handed gun, but this time we're examining Billy's primary weapon, the Winchester Model 1892 that Newman wields with explosive energy throughout the film. Newman's portrayal of Billy the Kid revolutionized the Western genre by presenting the outlaw as a psychologically damaged young man, driven by loyalty and rage. The Winchester 1892 he carries becomes the instrument of that rage, a rapid-fire tool of vengeance. The Model 1892's 4440 Winchester chambering launches a 200-grain bullet at 1,190 feet per second through its 20-inch barrel, delivering 630 foot-pounds of stopping power. Weighing just 6 pounds with a 10-round tubular magazine, This carbine-length rifle provided rifle accuracy with handgun maneuverability. John Moses Browning designed the Model 1892 as an improvement over earlier Winchester models, featuring a stronger action and smoother operation. The rifle became instantly popular with lawmen, outlaws, and cowboys who needed reliable repeating firepower. Newman's handling of the Winchester in the film's gunfight sequences showcases his dedication to authenticity. He worked with firearms instructor Thel Reed to master the lever action technique, and his rapid cycling of the action became a signature element of his Billy the Kid characterization. The left-handed gun featured innovative cinematography that emphasized the Winchester's mechanical beauty. Close-ups of Newman's hands working the lever show the rifle's action cycling with oiled precision, spent brass ejecting in slow motion, the weapon becoming an extension of Billy's violent impulses. Over 1 million Winchester Model 1892 rifles were manufactured between 1892 and 1941. Original examples sell for $800 to $3,000, while reproductions run $600 to $1,000. Before we reveal the top 5 firearms that define Newman's Western legacy, smash that like button if you're discovering the authentic weapons that built Hollywood's greatest performances. Subscribe, because we're about to show you the guns that transform Paul Newman from actor into legend. These next 5 weapons aren't just movie props. They're the tools that created cinematic immortality. Number 5. Colt Lightning, The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, 1972. At number 5, we have the revolver that represented the cutting edge of firearms technology, and Newman's Judge Bean carries it because he's a man who embraces innovation while maintaining frontier justice. The Colt Lightning introduced double-action technology to Colt's lineup, and Judge Roy Bean's use of this advanced revolver reveals his character's complexity. He may be a frontier judge operating from a saloon, but he's not stuck in the past. The Lightning's .38 Colt chambering fires a 150-grain bullet at 770 feet per second through its 4 1/2-inch barrel, delivering 200 feet-pounds of stopping power. Weighing just 2 pounds with a 6-round capacity, this double-action revolver could fire as fast as you could pull the trigger. The double-action mechanism eliminated the need to manually cock the hammer between shots, providing sustained fire capability that single-action revolvers couldn't match. In close-quarters confrontations, the speed advantage could mean the difference between victory and death. Colt manufactured approximately 166,000 Lightning revolvers between 1877 and 1909. The design gained popularity among lawmen and professionals who valued rapid-fire capability, though traditionalists criticized it for being too complex. Newman's Judge Bean uses the Lightning in the film's memorable courtroom scenes, where he dispenses justice with one hand while keeping the double-action revolver ready in the other. The weapon's presence adds tension to every ruling, because audiences know Bean can deliver instant enforcement. The film's prop master sourced an original Colt Lightning for Newman's use, and close-ups reveal the weapon's intricate mechanism. Watch the hammer movement during tension-building scenes. Even when not firing, the Lightning's presence communicates readiness for immediate violence. Original Colt Lightning revolvers in shootable condition command $2,000 to $8,000, depending on condition and configuration. The Lightning's complexity makes it less common among reproductions, though some manufacturers offer similar double-action designs. This technological advancement served law and order, but number 4 represents frontier reality. Number 4, Springfield Trapdoor Rifle, Hombre, 1967.
Billy Lee, what's your last name? You gonna go down there?
Number 4 takes us back to Hombre, where Newman's character demonstrates that professional survivors use whatever weapons come available. The Springfield Trapdoor Rifle he carries isn't glamorous. It's practical, reliable, and absolutely authentic for the period. This weapon choice reveals everything about John Russell's pragmatic approach to frontier survival. In Hombre, John Russell's choice of a Springfield trapdoor communicates volumes about his character without dialogue. This was military surplus, the rifle that cavalry and infantry used during the Indian Wars. A white man raised by Apaches carrying a cavalry rifle adds ironic depth to his character. The weapon that soldiers used against his adopted people becomes his tool of survival. That contradiction defines Russell's entire existence. caught between two worlds and fully accepted by neither. The Springfield Trapdoor's 4570 government chambering fires a 405-grain bullet at 1,350 feet per second through its 32 5/8-inch barrel, delivering 1,640 foot-pounds of bone-crushing energy. Weighing 9 pounds with a single-shot breech-loading action, this rifle represented the military's transition from muzzle loaders to cartridge arms. It wasn't the fastest rifle available, but it was one of the most powerful. The trapdoor design got its name from the breech mechanism that hinged upward like a trapdoor, allowing rapid reloading compared to muzzle-loading rifles. While not as advanced as repeating rifles, the Springfield's massive 4570 cartridge delivered stopping power that lighter repeaters couldn't match. A single well-placed shot from a Springfield could stop a charging horse or drop a man at 600 yards. The United States military issued approximately 700,000 Springfield trapdoor rifles between 1873 and 1892. After retirement from military service, these rifles flooded the civilian market, making them affordable weapons for frontiersmen who needed power more than rapid fire. You could buy a serviceable Springfield for $5 when a new Winchester cost $30. That economic reality shaped frontier life more than Hollywood usually admits. Newman's Russell uses the Springfield with casual competence, demonstrating his character's familiarity with all manner of weapons. The film shows him maintaining the rifle with practiced efficiency, cleaning the breech mechanism and checking the trapdoor's spring tension, understanding that in the desert Southwest, weapon reliability meant survival. Russell doesn't baby his Springfield, but he respects it as the tool that keeps him alive. Watch Newman's handling throughout Hombre. He carries the Springfield with unconscious familiarity, the rifle becoming an extension of his body during the tense stagecoach sequences. Director Martin Ritt insisted that Newman train with an actual Springfield to develop authentic muscle memory, and that preparation shows in every frame. Hombre's cinematographer used the Springfield's distinctive profile to excellent effect. The long barrel and trapdoor breech create an unmistakable silhouette that cinema audiences associate with frontier military campaigns. When Russell stands on desert ridges with the Springfield across his shoulders, that image captures the entire post-Civil War Western experience. Original Springfield trapdoor rifles sell for $800 to $3,000, depending on variant and condition. The 4570 cartridge remains popular among buffalo rifle enthusiasts, making these rifles practical shooters for collectors who value historical authenticity. This military surplus represented practicality, but number 3 shows us theatrical authority. Number 3, Colt Single Action Army, Custom Configuration, The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, 1972. At number 3, we have the most flamboyant weapon in Newman's Western career. Judge Roy Bean's ivory-gripped Colt Single Action Army represents the perfect fusion of frontier authority and theatrical showmanship. The life and times of Judge Roy Bean allowed Newman to fully embrace the character's larger-than-life personality, and the custom Colt he carries complements that performance perfectly. This isn't just a peacemaker, it's a statement of absolute authority in a lawless land. The Single Action Army's 45 Colt chambering drives a 255-grain bullet at 860 feet per second through its 5 1/2-inch barrel, delivering 420 foot-pounds of frontier justice. Weighing 2 pounds and 8 ounces with a 6-round capacity, this single-action revolver demands deliberate intent from every man who draws it. But this particular Colt featured custom ivory grips that elevated it from tool to treasure. Ivory grips weren't mere decoration. They provided superior grip in wet conditions and announced the owner's wealth and status. In the 1970s, when the film was set, ivory-gripped Colts sold for $25 to $40. Today, original examples command $15,000 to $30,000. Newman's Judge Bean uses this custom Colt to punctuate his courtroom decisions, the ivory grips catching light as he gestures with theatrical flair. The weapon serves dual purposes: legitimate authority and performance art. Bean understands that justice on the frontier requires both substance and spectacle. The prop department commissioned this custom Colt specifically for Newman's use, featuring period-correct ivory grips and authentic aging. Close-ups reveal the ivory's distinctive grain patterns and the Colt's well-worn finish, creating visual authenticity that serves the film's themes. Watch Newman's handling throughout the film. He treats the custom Colt with casual reverence, never quite holstering it during court sessions, maintaining constant physical connection to his source of authority. Custom ivory-gripped Colt Single Action Army revolvers represent the pinnacle of frontier firearms collecting. Original examples from the 1870s and 1880s sell for $15,000 to $50,000 depending on provenance and condition. This theatrical authority defined Judge Bean, but number 2 represents legendary status. Number 2, Colt Single Action Army, left-handed configuration, the left-handed gun, 1958. At number 2, we have the weapon that launched Newman's Western career and redefined how Hollywood portrayed Billy the Kid. The left-handed Colt Single Action Army isn't just a gun. It's a character study delivered through steel and gunpowder. The left-handed gun took its title from the controversial theory that Billy the Kid was left-handed, and Newman's performance built on that foundation to create something revolutionary. His Billy carries a standard Colt Single Action Army, but he wears it for a left-handed cross draw, communicating his outsider status before a single line of dialogue. The Single Action Army's 45 Colt chambering drives that proven 255 grain bullet at 860 feet per second through its 4 3/4 inch barrel, delivering 420 foot-pounds of stopping power. Weighing 2 pounds with a 6-round capacity, this single-action revolver became the most famous handgun in American history. But Newman's Billy doesn't carry it like a traditional gunfighter. His cross-draw holster, positioned for left-handed use, violates every convention of period gunfighter fashion. This deliberate choice communicates Billy's rejection of societal norms while maintaining deadly effectiveness. Here's what most viewers missed. The historical Billy the Kid probably wasn't left-handed. That theory came from a reverse tintype photograph, but Newman and director Arthur Penn used the left-handed concept to explore Billy's psychological alienation from society. Newman trained extensively with left-handed drawing techniques, working with period weapons to develop authentic handling skills. Watch his draw in the film's explosive gunfight scenes. There's no Hollywood quick-draw fantasy. His movement shows practiced efficiency developed through actual training. The left-handed gun cinematography emphasizes Newman's cross-draw technique, with low-angle shots highlighting the distinctive holster position. The visual language tells you Billy operates outside conventional rules, even before his violent actions confirm it. Between 1873 and 1941, Colt manufactured over 357,000 single-action Army revolvers in various configurations. Original examples with documented outlaw provenance command $50,000 to over $100,000. This legendary weapon defined Newman's Billy the Kid, but nothing in his Western career reached the iconic status of number 1. Number 1, Colt Single Action Army, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969. Here stands a firearm that made Paul Newman's Western career immortal, the Colt Single Action Army from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. This isn't just the most famous gun Newman carried. It's one of the most iconic weapons in cinema history, forever linked to the film's perfect chemistry between Newman and Robert Redford. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid revolutionized the Western genre by presenting outlaws as charismatic, funny, flawed human beings rather than pure heroes or villains. Newman's Butch carries his Colt Peacemaker with casual confidence, treating it as just another tool in his arsenal of charm and intelligence. The Single Action Army's 45 Colt chambering drives that legendary 255 grain bullet at 860 feet per second through its 4 3/4 inch barrel, delivering 420 foot-pounds of stopping power. Weighing 2 pounds 8 ounces with a 6-round capacity, this revolver became synonymous with frontier authority and outlaw defiance. But this particular Colt achieved legendary status not through spectacular gunfights, but through character moments. Remember the raindrops keep falling on my head bicycle scene? Newman's Butch has his Colt holstered while riding a bicycle with Catherine Ross. That juxtaposition of Old West violence and innocent romance captured the film's revolutionary tone. The chemistry between Newman and Redford elevated their weapons beyond props into extensions of character. Sundance is the shooter, handling his Colt with professional competence. Butch is the thinker, carrying his Colt more from habit than preference. That distinction drives their entire relationship. Here's the detail that separated this film from typical Westerns. Newman and Redford trained together with their Colts, developing synchronized movement that communicated their characters' lifelong partnership. Watch the bank robbery sequences. Their weapon handling shows practiced teamwork without verbal coordination. The film's iconic final freeze frame shows Newman and Redford charging toward the Bolivian army, Colts drawn, knowing they face impossible odds. That image of defiant courage, weapons raised against fate itself, became one of cinema's most memorable moments. Director George Roy Hill insisted on authentic weapons for principal photography, and the production-sourced period Colt single-action Army revolvers for Newman and Redford's use. The close-ups revealed genuine aging and wear patterns that computer effects could never replicate. Newman's particular Colt from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid became one of Hollywood's most valuable prop weapons. While the studio maintains possession, collectors have estimated its value at over $200,000 due to its cinematic significance. The Colt single-action Army from this film transcended its role as a weapon. It became a symbol of friendship, loyalty, and the choice to face death with courage rather than surrender with shame. That's not just a prop. That's cinema history forged in steel and fired with blank powder. Paul Newman's Western Firearms reveal a truth that separates great actors from legends. The weapon choices reflect character depth, historical awareness, and commitment to authentic performance. From the working man's Winchester to the theatrical Judge Bean's ivory-gripped Colt, from Billy the Kid's left-handed defiance to Butch Cassidy's casual competence, each gun tells a story about the man carrying it. Newman succeeded where other actors failed because he understood that Westerns aren't about guns. They're about men making moral choices in a violent world, and the weapons they carry reflect those choices. He didn't just hold these firearms. He inhabited them, transforming historical artifacts into instruments of character revelation. From the left-handed gun's psychological complexity, through Hombre's stoic precision, to Butch Cassidy's legendary partnership, Newman's weapons evolved with his performances. He respected the tools that shaped American history, while using them to explore universal themes of justice, loyalty, and human dignity. These 11 firearms represent more than Paul Newman's Western career. They represent Hollywood's golden age of authentic Westerns, when actors trained with real weapons and directors demanded historical accuracy. Newman's blue eyes and these legendary firearms created moments that transcend entertainment to become cultural touchstones. Which Paul Newman Western gun captured your imagination? Drop your thoughts below and tell us which firearm revealed the most about his character. Hit subscribe for more deep dives into the authentic weapons that built cinematic legends. Remember, in the hands of Paul Newman, steel and lead became instruments of truth. That's not acting. That's immortality.